All right, man. Let's talk about should the Detroit Lions trade for Travon Walker or Za'Darius Smith. Seen an interesting article talking about both. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We're talking about two different articles. So hit the subscribe button, man. You got Detroit Lions top playlist for more videos like this. So says that should the Jaguars consider blockbuster trade for Lions star Jackson Jaguar rocky start to the season confirms it may be time for them to start looking towards the future. Should they consider monumental trade? My thing is this: that's probably going to be tough when you just gave Trevor Lawrence all that money. So they had a slow start. That we all know the Jaguars. They had a really slow start, but it was a lot of them games in which they should have won. It was a lot of them games in which they should have won, and they did. And they did not win them. They did not win them. That first game versus Miami, they gave it up. I think they played Cleveland. Should have won that game. They barely beat the Indianapolis Colts last week while having the lead. So obviously something ain't clicking, but they got a good one in Brian Thomas, that rookie receiver out of LSU, which LSU is starting to be not only cornerback U or DBU, because they got some good safeties too, Eric Reed, the Honey Badger. It's starting to be wide receiver U. And them getting that kid from Belleville, it might end up being a quarterback U. But it says the Jacksonville Jaguars started 0-4. They 1-4 now. It's all, making numerous offseason additions. They entered the season expected to be in the running for the division title, potentially for a playoff berth. However, that seems highly unlikely after the team started this season 0-4. Ben Sholak, of ESPN recently released his thoughts on the blockbuster trade the Jaguars should consider as they plan for the future. At 1-4, the chances of things fully turning around for the Jaguars is limited. The least they can do is beginning eyeing what is best for the organization moving forward. The Lions get edge Travon Walker. The Jaguars get a 2025 fourth-round selection. The 2026 fourth-round selection said the Jaguars got their first win of the season Sunday and may still be subtracting when the trade deadline comes. Walker was the first overall pick. One pick ahead of Aiden Hutchinson in 2022, has had 2 splashy games this season, 3 complete blanks. Otherwise, he still hasn't quite figured out the Jaguars, but he has done enough. 5 sacks this season, so still a fed solid pick or two in return. And for the most part, I think Aiden Hutchinson, I did a video on this like a year or two ago. He said that basically the Jaguars picked Travon Walker because his arms was too short. Travon's arms was longer than his. So he said that's why they took Walker over him. So, that was the determining factor. And one thing about Walker, for those guys who wanted Isaiah Simons, and I was saying I didn't trust the Lions. I didn't trust the Lions with getting that linebacker out of Clemson because he didn't have a true position. Same thing with Travon Walker. He was a guy that didn't have a true position, had the size of a solid defensive tackle, had the athleticism of a twitchy end and could stand up and put his hand in the dirt. So when you get a guy like that who don't have a true position and got a multifaceted skill set, a lot of these teams, the first thing they do is just try to, utilize his skill set everywhere, and then he was a developing pass rusher too, and the difference was Aiden Hutchinson was a developed football player, stopping a run, rushing the passer. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. Travon Walker hadn't learned how to, rush the passer quite yet. So then, that became an issue. He still hasn't developed that in Jacksonville. You think about it, he got plenty of help. Josh Allen, the linebacker down there, and the edge rusher. So it'll be interesting how if the Lions will pull that trade. That'll be a lot of capital in the mid round between the next 2 seasons. But at the same time, could they develop them? Would they put him at defensive tackle? Would they put him at end? Right now, they would need him at end. But if they wanted to play kind of that multi-base defense that they like playing in the early infancy stages of Campbell and Aaron Glenn tenure, I think that he may be a good fit for that because he can play 3-4 in. He can play 4-3-3 technique. He can play 4-3 in, and he can stand up in the 3-4 if you need him to. And not every day you see a team with the number 1 and 2 picks in a particular draft. But Jacksonville, gave Detroit an opportunity, a great opportunity by taking Travon Walker. And I guess maybe it was so even on paper that he only 23 too. He was so even on paper that they was just like, all right, man, I guess we got to split hairs. We're gonna go here with the guy with the longest arms. And he got, 5 sacks this season already. So I'm not watching the games. But he had 3 sacks in the Indianapolis win. This past Sunday, he had 2 sacks in Miami. But then they said he didn't show up versus Cleveland, Buffalo, and Houston, which they should have won the Miami game, the Cleveland game, and the Houston game. So to let you know, so what the NBA says, make him mislead, so for the most part, they saying he just ain't been that guy. He had 10 sacks last season. Like, I'm just looking at the sacks. I'm not watching the games. 3.5 as a rookie, 10 sacks as look like an edge rusher on the outside linebacker position, 5 sacks this season through 4 games. In 2 games, so apparently he ain't down there getting the job done. I take that. Absolutely. But let's move on. Veteran edge rusher on bad team lands as a viable trade target for the Lions. Now, before you think I'm about to talk about Myles Garrett, absolutely not. Ain't no way Cleveland getting rid of him. So, that's a pipe dream. But former NFC North op and Za'Darius Smith, think he played with the Vikings and the Packers. The Lions are likely somewhere in the market for an edge rusher, and a veteran on a struggling team makes sense as a trade target. So, Browns edge rusher are offered as trade. Cody Benjamin, CBS Sports, has proposed one trade deadline each team should make. It's not surprising that the edge rushers as a trade target for the Lions. Za'Darius Smith, Cleveland Browns. Quote, if Cleveland was wise to auction off some of their more expensive vets, Smith could be a seamless partner for Aiden Hudson off the edge in Detroit. He's already repped for two other NFC squads before. 32 has 3 sacks for the Browns so far this season. Pro Football Focus graded him as a top 50 defender entering week 6, and the sacks are random foul. Pro Football Focus has credited him with just 9 pressures over 5 games this season, but he did have 5 pressures against Washington week 5 in 2022 and 23. Pro Football Focus graded him as a top 20 edge rusher. Smith has 1 year left on his contract after this year, but his $1.5 million base salary for 2025 is not guaranteed. The implications of the 3 voided year signing bonus proportion after 2025 will stick with the Browns in the trade. So it really don't seem like much risk here, but and it don't seem like this should be an expensive target neither. So cheaper target, older target, temporary stop plug for this season, but you trying to go for it. We know what he can do, but honestly, I like the Travon Walker thing better, but don't make no difference. Same old. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out Detroit Lions top playlist for more videos like this. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate y'all. Check out Detroit Lions top playlist for more videos like this. Peace.